Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things that we learned from Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. I genuinely feel like this is one of those games where if anything I needed was to put the brakes on. I did not want to sit there and be calmed down by controlling the game or not going for the game or soaking up the pressure. I was sat there thinking, all I want to see right now is my Chelsea side that I've got so much faith and belief in go for a Manchester United team who literally look like they are pigs at the slaughter, ready to be ran at, ready to be gone at, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it whatsoever. What I saw tonight from Chelsea was a game where we literally had what we could be in our hands. When it comes to like destiny and like you look at the way the Premier League games have gone this weekend, Arsenal got beat, Man City got beat, Liverpool won, Aston Villa got battered. We're still ahead of Tottenham. That's a positive. That's a reason to smack a like on this video. But I feel as though tonight, from minute number 1, Chelsea looked at this game and we just kind of wanted to draw, didn't want to lose. And I think as much as we're going to go into it here, and I'm not going to say that this is about the manager like trying to play for a draw or the manager didn't want to win or whatever. Absolutely, categorically not. But watching the 11 that we had out there, seeing the differences between when I've sat here in front of this very camera, in this very seat this season, even in games like Nottingham Forest, where you look at Forest and you're like, yeah, we've got to beat these guys at Stamford Bridge. Well, we didn't, but then you look at Forest now and you're like, well, that's not a bad result. You look at Bournemouth away and you're like, well, that's a really nice little snatch and grab. We got the win. Good job. Chelsea get the job done. We win 3 points in places that teams are not going to do it. Tonight at Old Trafford, there was nothing special about Manchester United. There was really nothing special about Chelsea, apart from one man and one goal, and we will go through it. But the reality of the situation is tonight, I genuinely feel like I was sat there on the live stream thinking, the fact that we could go third if we win this game, the players don't even know about how good they can be right now. We don't even know how far we can go. We don't even know that if we just like start to turn the cogs a little bit and do something a little bit different. It's like if you get a sports car and the first time you drive it and you've never driven a sports car before and you see it's got sports mode in it, but like every time you try and put it from driving to sport, you're like, error, error, error. The first thing you're going to do is drive back to the forecourt and be like, excuse me, mate, but I bought a sports car, spent a load of money on it, but it doesn't go into sport. And that's the way I feel about what we saw tonight from Chelsea. Yes, we didn't let Man United have many really good chances. Yes, we scored a great goal. But did we actually really create enough to be that team that we absolutely can be? And this is a 6 things we learned video where as you go through the boxes, as you watch this and you listen to the way that I'm talking about this team, I'm happy, but I'm also really unhappy about this. I'm genuinely watching this game and thinking we have got to do something here. We have got to do something different. You look at the lineup and I think it's a good lineup. I've said all week long, if you watch this channel and you've been following the videos day by day, I want to see Cucurella play because I think Cucurella as a left back offers a balance to the Chelsea team with a left-footed player with all of that experience that Chelsea need on that left-hand side. Lo and behold, our manager, Enzo Maresca, a man that I really flipping like. He takes Malo Gusto off at half-time, puts Marc Cucurella on, and sticks Reece James at right back. And then I'm looking at this and I'm like, right, this is where I'm looking at a Chelsea 11 where I personally, having watched every game this season, been to flipping America and followed that tour. And I'm like, after following the tour, I'm thinking, what are we going to see? I've got no idea what we're going to see this year. We're getting blown away by Celtic. We're getting blown away by Man City. Turn up for the season, we look really good. Man by man, game by game, we're combating teams. We're doing things different. We're literally taking the game the way it has to be done in modern football. All you see these days are teams just soaking up the pressure against better teams and hoping for the best. Chelsea have turned that on its head this year. But today, I genuinely feel like we have just succumbed to being unknown and being happy with a draw. And I sat here after we got beat by Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, and I'm like, well, hopefully we got beat in this game because we're going to really go for it against Man United. Today, Manchester United offered nothing. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything better than they've done all year long under Erik ten Hag. I've watched Man United multiple times. They've had better chances today that they could have scored those days that they didn't have today. The game, honestly, if you're watching this for the first time and you're like, do I follow golf? Do I follow, I don't know, fishing, football, rugby? You're watching golf, and then if you're bored of that, you're going to watch rugby, and then you're like, I might turn Man United Chelsea on. It was awful, genuinely. In terms of a spectacle, in terms of two teams that Man United have got nothing to lose, they've been dreadful. Just go for it. Just beat Chelsea. If Chelsea are going to sit back knowing that man for man we are better than them in every position, Man United could have looked at this and been like, we could actually go for it here. And I know that like when you look at the balance of the game, and we'll go through this coming week, but Chelsea weren't bad. But were we really good? Were we great? Did any of you watch that game? And this is a question I want to know in the comments down below. Forget what I gave for the boxes. But did any of you watch that and think, this is Chelsea? You know, like I've this season watched us and been like, we have got so much quality to beat anybody. Tonight, I'm looking at Manchester United. I'm thinking about all the emotional stories that we haven't won here since Benitez in the Premier League, whatever. I'm looking at this team and I'm like, we have got all the ability. Didn't see any of it. Did not see any of it out there today. We soaked up the pressure okay. We rode that atmosphere okay. We scored an amazing goal. Brilliant, because we got an unbelievable midfielder. Moises Caicedo, what a man. Cole Palmer was marked out again. Nobody really did anything today, guys. Genuinely. I could genuinely sit here on a 6 things we learned video and be like, I don't see the point in the boxes, because what we learned, we didn't really learn anything. We learned that we're a good side that can compete against good teams, and we can like not crumble under the pressure of bad, like crazy atmospheres anymore. We learned that. We can go to Old Trafford when they've got the tail between their legs and we can do okay. But other than that, we didn't do anything. But without any further ado, box number 1 is a blue box for Moises Caicedo. When it comes to a game where it's being played in the middle, and as a fan, you're watching and you're thinking, well, can somebody do something? Someone invigorate something to either evoke a change in the ebb and flow of the match or like... But Caicedo, today, it was a faultless performance. When Chelsea were defending, we're up against a side that have no confidence in attack. They've not scored goals all season. When the ball gets into the box, you don't expect Man United to score. Again, it's a mad thought, right? But that should have been the absolute thought and onus going into this game. They are so low in confidence. You can't just sack Erik ten Hag and then expect you to do what you did against Carabao in the Carabao Cup against Leicester. You can't expect that. The guy that scored the goals against Leicester is Casemiro, a man who sometimes looks as though he shouldn't even be in the punditry panel. He should be the one bringing the flipping waters at times. Casemiro again today was given too much space on the ball, too much time, too much respect. I've sat there on my live stream and I'm like, I genuinely feel as though this could have been a moment for Chelsea. This could have been a game where we saw what we have in front of us and we deal with it. I genuinely think there's going to be times this season when we play against teams like Forest that we've already like suffered against in a way and almost lost against. We're going to play against teams that are not quite as like, you don't respect them the way that you respect Manchester United, but none of this is acceptable. I sat there yesterday watching Arsenal. I went on Twitter and I was like, Arteta's got to be nearly done, isn't he? I'm saying that as a joke. Arteta's done a great job at Arsenal, but the reality of the situation is he's taken this team as far as he can go. Today, I genuinely thought like I was watching a Chelsea side that had already, based on something we haven't seen yet, exhausted all of the options and we're just playing for a draw because we're in a difficult atmosphere and it's a tough game. That's not correct. But Caicedo, when it came to the defensive duties that he had to do, phenomenal. The goal, sensational. I said it, when that man scored that goal against Spurs, I was like, there's something about this guy. And last season, I got it so wrong. And I actually don't like the way that I rated Caicedo last season, because I looked at Declan Rice and I was looking at Arsenal and I was like, well, Declan Rice is there for Arsenal and he's doing really well. And I made this dreadful call saying that Declan Rice is a better player than Caicedo. How wrong was I? And I think today kind of showed the light for me in terms of what I want to see from football players and I want to see from a team. Caicedo did everything that I wanted to see. Going for it, making the last-ditch tackles, and making me look like an absolute fool, which I absolutely don't care about, by the way. I'm more than happy to sit here and say that my call saying that Declan Rice is a bigger leader than Caicedo, what an idiot. What an idiot. How dare I sit here as a Chelsea fan and say that Declan Rice has done a better job than Moises Caicedo. From the moment I made that video, Caicedo's been phenomenal. And today, he's pulled the rabbit out of the hat. I genuinely don't think the rabbit needed to be pulled out of the hat the way that it was. Caicedo, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Everywhere. Everywhere. Absolutely schooled Ugarte. Schooled Bruno Fernandes. Schooled everybody. Caicedo today did not deserve to be out there on that pitch. He deserved to be on a flipping pedestal. And I think today we missed the trick. We didn't go where we could go. And I will get into that in a second. Box number 2 is a green for Wesley Fofana. I think Fofana really improved on what I've seen in recent weeks. I think today he had confidence. He was stepping into tackles. Sanchez comes out, doesn't make any contact with the ball. It's a penalty all day long. Bruno Fernandes scores it. I'm not going to go into it with Sanchez, but that is exactly what we saw. I thought Fofana was good. Overall, I genuinely think Chelsea today, I'm doing myself and you guys an injustice if I say we really learned anything. A yellow is Cole Palmer. When Cole Palmer's on the ball, when Cole Palmer is in the right position, Chelsea are next level. There was literally only sniffs. It was like we were watching a training session where Chelsea will post the highlight reels on a short video on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. Palmer didn't really get on the ball. But it wasn't because Man United marked him out of the game. It's because we played the game in such a small square of the pitch. And box number 4, and I very, very rarely do this in a 6 Things We Learned video because I try and react and give like an emotional response to the game. And box number 4, and I very rarely do this because I try and I'm reactionary. 6 Things We Learned, for any of you that are sitting here thinking, Benson, you're too negative or whatever. No, this is the series straight after the game where I am reactionary. I'm giving yellows today for Enzo Maresca. I'm putting him in box number 4, box number 5 and box number 6 because Maresca he's not looked at what we've done this season so far and seen the quality in the players that we have and realised that actually, even though it's Manchester United away in the Premier League at Old Trafford, we have played so many better sides this season. Bournemouth away, Nottingham Forest at home, Brighton at home. Significantly better teams than this Man United team. And today we have walked in and from minute 1 we've given them so much respect. And I genuinely think today we should have walked away with 3 points. We should have walked away having gone out there and given so much more going forward. Tried so much more. I think we've been so passive. I think we've just accepted the atmosphere of Old Trafford, which was amazing today. Really good. Man United bounced back from Ten Hag. Cool. We've literally just allowed that to be a draw for them that they're not going to be mad about drawing against Chelsea. And I genuinely think after watching that game in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday and being like, how and why have we thrown that away? I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with this, guys. Genuinely, I'm really not. And it's not because the players didn't do well. We had so many times tonight where we could have done something different and we should have been more clinical. We could have tried to be more clinical. We weren't. End of story. 1-1. It's not a bad result. We still haven't won at Old Trafford, but we didn't lose. I think tonight we should have been finishing in the Premier League table in 3rd place and looking at Arsenal and being like, oh, we're ahead of you, are we? That's where we're going to stay. But I genuinely feel like tonight we underestimated the calibre and ability of the players that we have. We gave too much respect to Manchester United. We allowed them to they weren't good. They really weren't good. This is one of the most annoying videos I've ever had to make, genuinely. I'm really upset with this draw. I really feel as though we should have gone for it more. I genuinely think we could have won this game. We could have made a statement tonight, but we didn't. This is one of the only times where I will say at the end of a 6 Things We Learned video, I'll look at this game again, I'll go into it in more detail, and I won't be so reactionary tomorrow. I won't. I'll try and give you more reasons why it wasn't a bad draw. But on the surface, right now, I'm really upset that we didn't just go for it tonight and try and do something different. And I think it's because of the way that Wednesday night went. Makes me feel like, well, yeah, we got something really exciting to go for here tonight. But that didn't happen. I don't want us to become a passive team that are too busy trying to combat the opposition whilst neglecting what we're really good at. We are so blistering when we play our football. We are so good when we take risk and carve teams open. We had all of the chances to do that tonight in the biggest stage of them all, Old Trafford. We didn't do it.